Hello everyone. Good afternoon. I happy to welcome you in the today's topic that is the bridging the gap between Gen X Y versus Gen Z, CEO Office Human Resource Management, Prospective and Capacity Building, initiated by Committee of Member in Practice. We have our eminent speaker, CA Chetan Bamji, who is qualified in 2007, having vast expertise in the various fields. He is the faculty in the ICI also. He has written the various paper. That the one of the paper was best in GST PM conference Indo 2022. He is currently co-opted member of Auditing and Assurance Committee WRC of ICI 2023-24. He presented his paper at various GST appellate tribunal at international RRC. He is the regular faculty in the soft skill trainer and GMCS. He has conducted research on bridging generational gap in Gen Z and Gen XY. He is consulting for human resource management and business process review. We having eminent faculty and we hope we will get much more from this webinar, which is conducted by our committee of member in practice. So, CS Chetan Banji, it's yours now.
Thank you, Nitish ji. Thank you for your kind words. And thank you, CFP ICI, for giving this opportunity. My beloved friends, we are here to discuss on the bridging the gap between Gen Z and Gen XY. Why this particular topic is to be studied and what is the importance of this topic in our CA office practices. That is the question before everybody. At the same time, we have to understand that these particular generations which are coming forward, we have to cope up with them and they have to cope up with us. So considering all this factor, if you see that this particular presentation is happening after the departure of our beloved Mr. Ratan Tata, now many of us must be thinking why this image is there. So this image of Mr. Shantanu with Ratan Tata itself is giving the good result to us that how the bridging gap between generations are important and what is going to give a good result. Considering this particular topic, what is given to me for delivery, if we go in detail of all this, we will understand what is happening in the scenario behind this generation studies and how it is going to help in your CA office practices. Before I will start my presentation, so at the same time, we have to give tribute to this particular person, Mr. Ratan Tata, a visionary who believed in peoples as the core of success. And as we are discussing today on the topic of human resource management, none other than this person can motivate us. After the departure of Mr. Ratan Tata, we lost our titan. Everybody is agree on this particular view. Coming to the particular topic, now what is Generation X, Generation Y, Generation Z, and how they bridge the gap, particularly for CA offices and in general as well. Now we have to understand what is the definition of these generations and how it has been defined in particular to global standards as well as Indian standards. So Gen X is usually adaptable, independent, value structure and direction, approximately who took a birth between 1965 to 1980. There are certain different research which says that these years are different from 3 to 4 years in each particular research. Gen Y, collaborative, technology driven and purpose focused, approximately born in between 1981 to 1996. Gen Z, you can call it as Gen Z, Gen H, iGen, post-millennials, the new greatest generation. In the layman language, people call it as T20 generations. Tech-savvy, socially conscious, and entrepreneurial, approximately who born after 1997 to 2012. Obviously, there is another generation which is also in discussion, but not for our today's topic, that is Gen Alpha. And that Gen Alpha is in consideration, particularly who took birth after the COVID or in between the COVID scenarios. What will be the challenges and things, and what would be the new scenarios of Gen Alpha? That may be the next topic after some years. But today we have to understand how to bridge a gap between Gen X, Y versus Gen Z. So particularly this Gen Z generation, which are coming to our office by way of articles, by way of staff, by way of another clients, by way of maybe some authorities to the government, we are getting concerned that how to cope up with them. Now, at the same time, some of my audience, maybe Gen Z, they are also getting concerned that how to cope up with Generation X and Y. So if the definition of if these generations we understand, then there was a different scenario in the market, and generational definitions is a vital bridging communication work style gaps in CA offices. Now, what is happening basically, these particular generations, when different values, they have worked with a different mechanism, different sources where they were with them, and accordingly, there is a differences which are arising in work culture. So we have to understand what is the global statistics of generations. There is a particular forum, that is Oliver Wyman Forum. Those who have done a research on this Gen Z, they have issued one particular document around 90 pages, that is Gen Z report. And in that one particular slide, which is copied here, which says that in US only, from 2022 to 2031, workforce is like this, that boomers 18% to 8%. Now, what is boomers? In my definition, it was not expressed. Baby boomers are those who have taken a birth before 1965. Then Gen X, 31% to 26%. Millennials, typically Gen X Y, what we say is who took a birth between 1980 to 1997, 36% to 35%. Presuming many of the participants are born between 1980s to 1997 from us. So if we are a millennials, see that from 2022 to 2031, this working force remaining same. But at the same time, Gen Z are getting doubled almost by their survey. If you will ask me what is the scenario in Indian context, the research typically not been done on Gen Z, but or else typically not been done will be saying a wrong thing from my side. At least not to my knowledge, somebody who has done some research. There are certain institutes, those who have done this Gen Z research or are doing this Gen Z research. But at the same time, this Oliver Wyman Forum as having the mechanism for Indian context, it is as same as of this. So considering this, this workforce is going to get double in next 6-7 years. We have to adopt their culture along with our values, and combination of that will give you a win-win resolution. Now, factors to consider upon the how the comparison is coming between this Gen X, Y, and Z. If we see the pre-digital world, Gen X is adaptable to both. They are trying, so we have seen certain chartered accountant, those who are at the age of 50 or 55 or more, still they have worked with that manual typing of work, then computers, which were not giving so good results, but the things are digitalized. And then currently all other scenarios change after particularly 2005, 6 or 7, 8, where online things came into all our working practice. If we see Gen Y millennials, particularly in fun in Hindi, it has been said ये ऐसा जनरेशन है जो हमारे पुरखों की भी सुनता है और हमारे बच्चों की भी सुन रहा है, because they have to cope up between all this. So early millennials also experience both, highly adaptable to digital. Yes, Generation X, they have conveyed their all practice areas from this manual process to the digital because they are born in the transformation phase. And if we have seen that a lot of people, those who are working manually, our major workings of our practice moved to in Excel region by this Gen Y millennials. Digital Gen Z, typically digital natives, lack experience with not digital environment because they born after the all digitalization. Resilience in adversity. Obviously, our elders have great experience. Economic uncertainties were there, social challenges were there. So they are resilient through their all developed mechanism with their own uncertainties and experiences. Typically, Gen Y resilient due to 2008 financial crisis, cautious with finances. So Gen Y culture people are usually thinking about the financial feasibility in all aspect, particularly in working environment. Gen Z, yes, obviously there is a limitation. They are having high anxiety levels due to constant digital exposure and global crisis. We can relate it to in this way that this particular Gen Z, if we see them that there is a 2020 match going on, or yesterday 2020 match happened, and the on the 16th over, one particular batsman has hit it 5 sixes. That generation will not watch 15 overs. They will go to the highlights, they will see the 16th over, and they will close their all digital network. So this is what the high anxiety levels with them. Loyalty and job commitment. Obviously, elders were long-term sustainability was the concern from them. So their value and career progression was with that respect. Generation Y was having job hopping but loyal to employers aligned with their values. Generation Z, typically we have to concentrate that focus on the flexibility and quick to change the job we need assignment. Here, particularly, my friends want to made more emphasis on this particular point. This Generation Z usually we see that they are not constant or they are not stabilized, they are not waiting, they don't have patience or like this. But particularly for them, it is like that whatever is there are need, whatever need, they have their needs, if this is not fulfilled, they will change their all views all of a sudden and they can move ahead. Considering this particular negativity in this statement, we have to also understand that if we are not fulfilling their own requirement, then there will be a difficulty. Because as we have seen in the previous statistics, that this generation is going to get double. So if we are not going to adopt their culture, it would be very hard. At the same time, I don't want to say like this that we have to see and do everything according to their views and situation. Because of this particular issue is arising, we are taking this kind of session where we are going to understand that how to bridge the gap. So this particular one of my colleague who is HR executive at the age of 26, 27, when I was discussing this presentations, he was saying that, sir, this particular statement where you are saying that Gen Zs are changing and they are not loyal, it is something which is negative. I'm saying I'm not saying anything negative. I'm saying the comparatives of Gen Z versus Gen Y are like this. They are changing. In one of the HR conclave I have attended in Mumbai, which was conducted by Bombay Chartered Accountants Society, where a lot of big big players were there in that discussion. Some of the presenter were there. I asked them one question that according to you, what will be the consistency scenario of Gen Z for number of years working? According to them, it is 3, 4 years are maximum. So if it is more than 3, 4 years, one person is staying with you, keeping aside the articleship prospect because that is mandatory by ICI, it is good for you if they are keeping more than 3, 4 years. So generally, we have to understand that 3, 4 years the big span for them. Earlier it was 10 years, 15 years, or something like that. So we have to understand this. Work-life integration. Yes, elder generation was having that strong boundaries because their responsibilities, resources, needs were at particular point it has been stopped. Gen Y, definitely we have struggled to this. We have seen many of our colleagues or our parents, or to the extent of parents of Gen Z, they have mixed up their work and life, personal life and work things are in the working environment, and that is blending personal interest with the career. And there where Gen Z was under impression that we have to consider this work life balances and struggle with the boundaries due to always connected lifestyles. So these are the differences between Gen Y and Gen Z, particularly in work-life integration. At the same time, we have to understand why Gen Zs are thinking like this. The reason is one particular generation which came from 1980 to 1997, they have done all their things for their family. They have all own car, own houses, on own particular lifestyle, which is good for their day-to-day life. At the same time, Gen Zs are having this view. These particular basic things have been completed by my family. Hence, I don't have to struggle on this. And that is why they are focusing on more work-life balances. So we have to understand because their basic necessities have been completed and their focus are different. That's why they want more work-life balances. Interpersonal communication skill. Obviously, our generation was very good because lot of experiences with them and non-digital upbringing was there. One person has to go from 10 kilometer, 100 kilometer to X to Y to talk and all these things. Obviously, Gen Y balance in personal because the telephones were there, mobiles came, internet came, email generations came, and we understood the mix up of this. Particularly post-COVID, even Gen Y are preferring to communicate to digital platform. If any of your client is more than 50 kilometer, 100 kilometers ahead, we are saying that, or that is also, they are also requesting, sir, why you are asking to come at your office? Can we have a Zoom meeting, Google meeting, or online meeting per se? So this we have to consider. Then, now the question is arising why we shall study on Gen Z. Indian Gen Zs are focusing on work-life balance, as I said in my previous slide. So several key factors, both global or local culture dynamics are affecting their decision making and general trend in the particular business work environment. So what is that? They are more aware of flexible working models and expect similar standards in India. So typically, if we considered one particular chartered accountant was with me in one course, he is from Bangalore. He says that his articles and staff comparing themselves to the people who are working in IT industry because there they have a work from home culture, work from home mechanism, remote working hours, flexibility in working hours. So this generation is expecting that why can't we have such scenario in our field? Now there are certain challenges with respect to timelines, due dates, and all other things. But then we have to bridge the gap. Changing family and social structure, they prioritize personal well-being, spending quality time with the family, friends over working excessive long hours. We have seen many reels on Instagram, Facebook, where it has been shown that one person who is working at late hours and another person is not working at late hours. Then whether it means that that person who is not working at late hours are the same person or all this. Since mental health awareness is also important for them, Indian Gen Zs are more open to discussing and addressing mental health issues. This particular reference, what I have given in Women Forum's report, which has conducted a research and given a Gen Z report, they says that 65% of global Gen Z is reporting mental health struggles. And obviously, this is with respect to the correlation of digital platforms. They are so addicted to the technology, and that is also giving the problem. One has to consider, even Gen Z has to study on it because it is good for them. Then technology and remote work, as we have said, that highly tech savvy and grew up in the digital solutions. With all this experience, they says that give me a flexibility so that I can work according to me, and either you are expecting what results that is going to achieve by win-win resolution between both of us. Then aspiration for personal fulfillment, very important to note here. Not only Indian Gen Z, even global Gen Z seeks personal fulfillment in their careers. They want jobs, but that not only provide a financial stability, they also think that my I want to pursue for my own passions and personal interest. So if one particular Gen Z who is good in music, and if you will say him, don't go for music, work for late hours, you are going to achieve, this is going to give this, they are not going to listen us and they are not listening. We have to create an environment which will be fascinating to them according to their needs, and which will give a good result according to our expectations for workforce. Then why Gen Zs are more prone to digital world? This is more important. So as we have discussed in last 2 3 slides, Nitish ji, am I going very fast or is it okay?
No, sir, okay.
Okay.
It's understandable.
Yeah. So as we have seen that factors to consider between the experience of Gen X, Y, and Z. At the same time, we have said we are having this question why we shall study on Gen Z. We have to understand why Gen Zs are more prone to digital world, because the entire scenarios of difference of opinions are coming because of digital world and digitalization per se. Because Gen Z thinks that we can work in remote way, and we think that no, आपको office आना चाहिए. So there the gap is arising. So we have to understand that why they are more prone to digital world. As we have discussed, they have born in digital natives. So between 1997 2002, they have exposed to smartphones, social media contents, internet from the very young age they have used. So in general, if the people who are at age of 40 or 50 and they are at one particular point in a city, they usually call to their friend, I am here, can you tell me any nearby good restaurant where I can go for the lunch or dinner? At the same time, if Gen Z is there, he will say, why you are asking? Go to ChatGPT, go to Beta AI. Currently or in previous way, he was asking to Google any nearby restaurant to me, because they have been trained in such a way that digital technologies are there who are the assistant to them. Then access to information, obviously searching, consuming, learning from online platforms, whether for entertainment, education, and socializing. Particularly post COVID, we have seen that these OTT platforms have hijacked the entire television and film industry. Many people are not going to theater because they are able to see that particular content according to their convenience. So I have seen many of my friends, those who are at Gen Z, they says that though many of my friends whose son or daughter are Gen Z, they says that they are seeing the movie in breaking parts on OTT according to their convenience. So because people don't have much time on particular aspect, they are doing like this. At the same time, social media centric life. Now, this is where we have to understand it is a advantage as well as limitation per se. So if we are dealing with Gen Z in our family, in our office, we have to express them that too much addiction to this social media platform and too much use of this social media platform is also going to give a trouble. They are blindly believing on the contents which are given on the social media platform, at the same time, they are taking the influence of others because the influencer itself is a guide to them according to their views. At the same time, we have to understand that what contents are provided by these digital platforms, and that we have to understand whether these are useful to us or not. Because these particular platforms are giving certain information, and that information is right. If one is presuming like this and presenting, going to give a big trouble. Today, I have gone through the one LinkedIn post of one of our fellow who is a very good practitioner in GST from Bangalore. He was giving certain insights on the LinkedIn post about that one particular person, fellow of chartered accountant, who has given a reply to the GST notices by using AI platform. And that particular contents which came from the notice, which came from the AI platform, he has used according to his excellence, but at the same time there were many wrong things which was not been validated. So we have to understand and we have to guide this generation. Definitely use these platforms for your information, go for your entertainment, but at the same time addiction is not to be required, or addiction is not to be there, they so that the results will come. Similarly, we have to understand that these people were lacking in this particular environment where the sharing and caring was there in physical environment. So because of that, these people have became so social media centric that if we are going one particular spot, they are uploading the images on Instagram and Facebook. Rather than sharing that thing, I have gone to such place and enjoyed with my friends and gave certain good insights of that experience to somebody by oral communication. He thinks that that is the easy way, and that is where the gap is arising. We have to understand and bridge it. How to bridge it is a question. Believe me, I am not an expert to bridging the gap. I am studying on this aspect, and we all have to think on it so that win-win resolution can come out. Digital tool for learning and growth. Obviously, lot many tools are there. Currently, Institute is also doing on AI platforms. Many people are using such informations and tools for their own working, and Gen Zs are so fast on it. If you will give them a row of Excel working of row containing 2000 rows, they are more good in giving result compared to the previous generation because they have used such information and the other contents are available to them very easily. Tech savvy and multitasking abilities. Yes, you have seen that current generation having headphone in their ear, listening music at the same time working on one particular audit workings. But whether it is right, whether concentration is going to get affected, whether it is going to give result, whether streamlining these processes are going to give a bad impressions, these things are to be considered. We have to guide them. They have to also think, because if one particular audit assignment where the culture is so that senior management will not understand why you are using headphones, even if you are talking to your senior executive at office for certain guidance on the working environment of that audit place, but that management will think that you are not concentrating on your worker. So these balances with the cultural sensitivity have to be understood. E-commerce and digital economy, as we have seen that lot many digital platforms with e-commerce available, where the things are easy available with those people. In our era, when we want to go for breakfast after late working hours of the office or evening snacks, we had to go to 1 kilometer, half kilometer, or 200 meters away from the office. Right now, these people are able to give those all required orders from that particular e-commerce platforms, namely Swiggy, Zomato, or something like that. So their e-commerce use is more good. They are saving their time, getting available contents with them, and electronic digital payments. They have seen, particularly post monetization, these platforms grown up like anything. Even shoe polish man or vegetable people are having this QR code. So they are thinking that these all things are to be considered, and they are requesting to elders to please use these platforms. So we have to understand their views also. Now, these till time we have seen that why Gen Zs are more prone to the digital world. We have seen that why Gen Zs are having different views with respect to their own thinking. We have seen that what is the difference between Gen X, Gen Y, and Gen Z, particularly on some of the working aspects. Now we'll move to the emerging trends, what are coming into consideration. Now here the concept of bridging the gap will be understood in a proper way. So what is emerging trend? remote work and virtual teams. Believe me, where I am presenting before you, but still I am not able to conclude the mechanism where my office team can work from home, or whether there can be a virtual teams who will work and will give the good result. There are certain limitations so far technology is concerned, remote working places are concerned. At the same time, technology understanding or tech savvy clients are concerned, because some of the clients are still not reading the mails, and how we will understand with their requirements and will cope with this. But at the same time, we have to consider this: certain places there are difficulties with respect to logistics, there are difficulties with respect to transport, there are difficulties with respect to traffic. In one of the discussion I came across from the Mumbai, where one of my friend they are having one office in Mumbai, Andheri, another office in Thane. Just because the Thane people coming to Andheri and taking a traveling time of 1.5 hours, the people were so reluctant to come from Thane to the Andheri. So they thought that we shall work from home. And then they were not able to get good result. They have established their office in Thane. Particularly for them, the feasibility was allowing, their working culture was allowing, or to the cost benefit analysis understood, they understood to establish an office. But there are certain tasks where you don't need an office and you can go in a remote work culture or work from home culture, in alignment with the available sources along with the need of our business. Because if somebody is comparing our business, our process, our work culture to the IT industry, it is not going to give a good result, because there are certain differences where we have to see the document. Every document cannot be digitalized. At the same time, every document can be digitalized. But then we have to understand the scenario and we have to see this. Then artificial intelligence and automation. Many of us are using these all AI tools in our routine practice. Even I am using some of them for my routine works. Day by day, this is going to give a good result. My friends, why this topic it came in my mind? I had been there at Practice Ki Pathshala course at Haisaya, Hyderabad, where I have seen that certain sessions which were given by the excellent eminent speaker on the use of AI tools in CA office practice, these artificial intelligence and automations are giving such a wonderful result. Obviously, we have to validate it, as I said, by the example of GST notice. Similarly, we have to understand this is going to save a lot of time. Third, we have to understand this automation is making the things fascinating, which is required for Generation Z. Because Generation Z don't want to work under the monotonous mechanism and monotonous task culture. Even if you give them a same task, but with the fascinating way or a new use of technology, they will work for a number of hours. So particularly this misunderstanding is arising that this generation don't want to work late hours. उनको 1 घंटा ज्यादा बैठने के लिए बोला तो भी बुरा लगता है, सैटरडे वर्क करने को बोला तो भी ना बोल देते हैं, बिकॉज दे थिंक दैट आप जो रोज 1 घंटा बिठाने के लिए मुझे वर्क करने के लिए बोल रहे हो उसमें कुछ नया फैसिनेटिंग या कोई टेक्नोलॉजी प्रॉस्पेक्ट का यूज आ सकता होगा तो मैं 2 घंटे बैठ जाऊंगा. बट अगर आप 1 घंटा एक्स्ट्रा बैठने के लिए बोलेंगे और वही टास्क करने के बोलेंगे, उनके एक्सप्रेशंस, sometimes their expression speaks that they don't want to, sometimes their word speaks that they don't want to, sometimes we have to understand they are not agreeing to our terms. It is okay, it is agree to be disagree, find out a suitable way which will be a win-win resolution. So certain AI tools are there. Because this session is not on AI, so I will not talk on the number of categories of available products which are there. Even our institute, some of the central council members, those who are working in such a good way in AI, particularly my beloved friend CA Umesh Sharma, central council member, or some other members, maybe another name I can take, Dayanand Sharma sir from Hyderabad. They have done certain research and they have given these all platforms for artificial intelligence, and a lot of courses have been introduced by ICI at various levels. Many branches are conducting. Even Excellence Center, Hyderabad Excellence Center, Jaipur are also having such kind of courses. Those who want to use such technology, want to understand, I will request to please join. You will get very good insights. Now, attracting and adapting to new generation staff. Now, understanding all this as you will say, sir, we have understood the differences, or understood means we came to know the differences. We have gone through the digital expectations of the Gen Z. As you are saying that new generation automation, artificial intelligence is going to help. Now, at the same time, as the generation of XY member, how to attract and adopt new generation staff, what kind of policies will help, what factors we have to consider. I will go to that scenario now. So, recruitment strategy for Gen Z. Gen Z is drawn to companies that align with their values, flexibility, and provide opportunities for growth. It is important to note here that what is opportunities for growth? They are thinking that growth doesn't mean earning us so much of money. They are thinking growth means gaining a new experience. They are thinking growth means achieving a work life balance with the fulfillment of my basic needs. They are thinking growth means use of technology to save the number of hours. Please understand these factors, because if these factors are not considered, Gen Z will say that I'm not going to work on this prospect, and they are not going to give you good result, because the monotonous things are not going to give result, going to give good result to them, even to we as well. So we have to consider. Also important to note that they are expecting a transparency in all processes. So sometimes there is a need that sometimes hiding means doesn't mean you are not giving the transparency. We have to understand and balance between it, that what things are not to be shown or not things are not to be talked. Particularly, there are no such things which cannot be talked, which cannot be shown. But there are a need, there is a need one particular aspect and assignment where client thinks that this is not to be disclosed and all. But at the same time, they will have the question, why sir is not giving this full information to me? Why sir is not telling everything? When clients and his accountant or any particular person from that resource management come to our office, not only to me or my office, every chartered accountant's office, this new generation staff will definitely complain. Sir, he is coming but not giving full insights on his transactions. And somewhere I'm not digesting it. Why he is not giving it as a different second question. First is I'm not able to digest it. So this particular process we have to consider. Similarly, the recruitment process has to be tech driven. So, what can be tech driven mechanism? So, if people are coming to your organizations, as I see that even we are not able to complete those processes at our office, but I am thinking and planning, even all people, those who are attending, they can come with certain good research, which will helpful to all of us. So, tech driven is what? So, they have seen some particular doctors. If you go with a new patient and asking the application form or admission form in manual way, rather than giving a Google link and asking certain information to fill in that. So can we do such things in our office when articles are coming for interview? Can we have that electronic mechanism for the information to be sought by them? Similarly, for the new staffs are coming, so that so it will help them to understand that this generation or this particular office is adopting our techno savvy attitude, and they will get cope up with us as early as possible. Having social media presence for the recruitment is very important. Can you believe that in last 6 7 8 months I understood in this way, any article or any staff who is coming to my office for interview or for the discussion or to are getting some information, even to the extent new clients who are with respect to Gen Z, before coming to my office I am getting a notification that this particular person viewed my profile on LinkedIn. I have seen that if, for example, in last 7 8 months, if 15 20 people came to my office, only two have not gone through my LinkedIn profile. Remaining 18 out of 20 have gone through my LinkedIn profile. So we have to understand that this social presence, not because I am promoting a LinkedIn or something like that, wherever the connects are there, which they can get the information, we have to connect to those dots. So if you remember my presentation first slide, which was with the image of Shantanu and Ratan Tata. I was yesterday when I was seeing the news, I got one particular clip on that YouTube channel where it has been seen that how Ratan Tata came on Instagram. So the famous story which was given by this Shantanu to the Ratan Tata, Shantanu was working on some project where he was considering some belts in the neck of dogs, where dogs can be saved in the nights by particular radium or radium working mechanism or something like that, but he was not having a funding. So somebody suggested him to reach to Ratan Tata. He wrote one letter, then they got connected and all this. Can you believe that Ratan Tata no more after 87, 80 years, 87 years of his life. And he came in 2016 on Instagram by the explanation of Shantanu. So Ratan Tata came on Instagram after the age of 75 or 80. Can we are not, are we thinking on the same mechanism? So is it means so there's a difference between two generations. Is that one generation says that what you are doing, whatever is happening, you are putting on social media. This is wrong. I will say that balance to be there between these two. But social media presence are required. So having a social media presence on certain platforms where people are taking your information. Similarly, social media presence with respect to celebrations in our office. That is also required because whenever new people will come, they are going to, because this generation, when they will they will try to find some information about you, they will go to the social media contents. And if there is a certain particular image of your office, if there is a certain particular image of your team, there is certain particular image of a celebration made by your team after the audit season, this is going to give add on. So note my words. If you are having such if you're having such views and processes for the social media use, obviously, at the same time, we have to understand it has to be within the corners of institutes guidelines. So if you are marketing in such a way which is a soliciting and not allowed by institute, not going to give a good result. Maybe sometimes you are doing it because of lack of knowledge. Sometimes you are doing it purposely. You have to consider your own ethics, and then it has to be according to the institute's guideline. But the social media presence are helping a lot to the people. One of my colleague to whom I was talking, even his name is there in the presentation, he is basically a recruitment consultant. One point of time before some days, I asked him, now पहले जैसे आर्टिकल्स का फ्लो नहीं दिखता है. ही आस्क मी, सर आपने आर्टिकल्स के साथ इंस्टाग्राम या फेसबुक के कभी फोटो डाला है? मैंने बोला क्या बात कर रहे हो? बोले सर कभी डाल के देखिए, अगले 6 महीने के बाद आपको क्या रिजल्ट आता है. I was not convinced to him, but at the same time I was thinking. So today again I will repeat, I am still thinking. You people please think on it. If it is going to help, we can do. I'll- Obviously again I will repeat, within the corners of ethics which are reported by institute, we have to take care. Mentorship programs. Now, here, particularly for office management, in these new generations, as well as old generations, if they are your colleague, they are your partners, they are your team members, they are your senior staff, they are elder staff, maybe second generation, third generation chartered accountants are here, who is having a legacy of their family in chartered accountancy field, also having a practice mechanism, and senior staffs are there. So, this mentorship programs are required. What is mentorship programs and how it can be? So word itself is explaining. At the same time, we have to take care. So what we can do, say 3 years articleship is there, 2 years completed by some of the articles. Please ask one particular article to become a mentor of another article to guide in such processes, so that this particular mechanism of their requirement will be fulfilled of these new generations. At the same time, a senior can guide to junior, his work can get settled. Now, whether this is happening or not, answer is yes, it is happening. But we have not given a culture, we may have not given a, sorry to use, we have not given a word will be wrong. We may have not given a cultured and designed way for this. We have to understand and we have to prepare an hierarchy of the office team in such way this mentorship will come to the new generation as well as to the old generations, maybe Gen X, Gen Y, or whatever it may be. So this mentorship is going to help. A very beautiful example of mentorship can be if one of the fellow in office is having a very good knowledge in Excel. Okay, we can ask him to become a mentor of all people for Excel workings. And we can say that if anybody is working on some aspect and if you are facing some challenge in workings, please go to that fellow and ask, this challenge I have, can you help me into it? Because that experience of that person in that Excel environment is such a good that he can give a easy resolution. But because these connecting gaps are not there, because that connection is not there by way of a cultural or settled way of mentoring, X person cannot go to Y himself will not guide. But if we will issue this kind of SOPs or process in office, this is going to help. This is an example I am putting before you. Many other aspects can come into building a culture of inclusion. Now, it is important to understand when we have gone through the different characteristics of Gen X, Y, Z. we understood that Gen Zs are having a different expectations. One of the important expectation by them is inclusivity. They think that if you will consider them in the inclusive manner, they are a part of team. And if you will not consider them in an inclusive manner, they are not a part of team. Even this general thought is there. But why Gen Zs are thinking differently? Because they think I have my certain experiences in digital environment compared to you. And even their mind subconsciously must be saying them, yes, I have a good knowledge than you in Excel. I have a good knowledge you in technology compared to you. Why don't you consider me in decision making of this particular assignment? And if that gap is there as a senior, if we think ये कल का बच्चा आया मुझे क्या बताएगा, maybe this is not happening at a lot of places now, but some places I have seen this is still happening, that seniors are not considering their views. So inclusivity is important, particularly in workforce, particularly in decision making. Maybe you can say them that decision making process I am getting involved you to get your insight, but I may not listen you, I may not complete your requirement, I may not accept all your views, but I want to understand and listen. This is going to give add-on, because in that case when you are going to face certain things and they are behind you, beside you, or they are behind you, they will come up, sir, please use this, you try like this, you will get the good result, it would be more easy for you. At the same time, we have to understand how about inclusivity in general parlance. This I said before in my deliberation about the working environment. Now, celebrating diversity. So, if one particular person is having a diversified views or diversified, or he has an achievement which is very diversified, please celebrate it by giving a thank you note to him or giving a better working hours to him, flexible policies to him, without damaging the views of others. Again, this particular subjective topic is not going to give a result in one day. We have to understand. Then, inclusive recruitment practices. You can have this kind of mechanism about having a team in such a way that X team, Y team, Z team, having a collaborative team between all these three, which is going to help. Then similarly, one particular inclusive mechanism is, see, when you are having a start of the new year. So in our offices, we started from last April. That annual holiday chart is going to get declared on 1st April itself. And while deciding this holiday chart, we took the consideration of entire stakeholders, may it be articles, new staff, old senior staff, partners, and all. And we have decided one particular chart of the office which is going to get declared on 1st April for the entire holidays of the year. So it would be more easy for my staff to understand that this is the festival where I am not going to get a holiday because this is not in office policy, and this is the holiday where I am going to get. Similarly, it is more easy for our clients. So if this inclusivity is there on the day one of decision making, they will feel more better. Festival leave. This inclusivity is more important and helping to me in my office. So there are certain staff belongs to different religion or different, you can say, festivals are there with different religion or different society and culture. So if you allow them, say for example, one particular staff who is having a celebration on Christmas and another staffs are not there, allow them a festival leave which is a paid leave, and another staff who is having a different, say for example, he's Jain and having a Mahavir Jayanti function in April. So give them a festival leave in April for those Jain staff and give them a festival leave for those staff who are Christian in the Christmas holiday. It will offset their requirement. It will give an inclusivity culture. They will think that no, my personal needs are fulfilled. It would be easy for him. Emotional attachment and family concerns. As we have seen that current era is emotional intelligence, EQ era. Even all schools are thinking to give on more on EQ rather than IQ, because this emotional quotient is going to play a big role, because the skill sets are going to give good results compared to intellectual. I'm not saying intellectual is not good or intellectual is not going to get result, but the intellectuals are less in values compared to emotional in current era, or at least for some more future nearby. So we have to understand the emotional attachments and family concerns. So there are certain people, say for example, one person is not feeling well and he is taking off on the due date itself, and when he is coming second day in office and you are raising some statement, क्या यार आप तो उस दिन छुट्टी लेते हो जब जरूरत होती है. So getting ill was not in his hand. Your due dates are there in every month. But if you will speak such kind of a single word, it will demotivate him to work hard, because he thinks whenever I was not good, sir is not considering this thing, and that is going to give a negative thinking in their mind. Similarly, annual picnic, annual celebrations, days celebrations. In our office, 3, 4, 4, 5 years back, we started days celebrations. And this thought came in mind, maybe some other peoples were following, and came in my mind by this way, that particularly our articles, those who are doing CA courses are not going to colleges in comparison to regular college students, are going at least time of ours, and they think that we don't have a days, we are not celebrating, we are getting aligned to all system and process of CA articleship and all. So I thought, why we shall not celebrate days in office, and we have started to celebrate days in office maybe in the month of January, February, where some slack season is there compared to other working hours. This is my office base. Some other offices are having some other slack number of months or hours. There they can celebrate. So celebrating days will help them to get aligned to each other, understand the values, getting good team environment, team building activities will help. Obviously, cultural sensitivity will get developed, and people will respect each others, and this is going to give you a win-win resolution for the further things. Now, this is what about gaining employees and you can say adopting a new generation of staff. Similar, some factors are required for employee retention strategies. Now, what does that? Professional development opportunity. Continuous learning and development are crucial for Gen Y and Z. Now, what is this professional development opportunities? Ask them to go for the number of seminars where ICA is conducting. For that matter, for articles, Vikasa branch in Maharashtra or particular student association branches in those region are taking a lot of sessions. Similarly, branches are taking a lot of sessions, maybe online, offline. Pay for them, ask them to attend it, and you pay their all contributions for that. This is going to give an add-on to their thought that no, sir ने मेरे लिए रजिस्टर किया है, मुझे अटेंड तो करना चाहिए. One positive, you can say, burden to them, at the same time going to give value added to them. So they will think that no, something is happening. I'm not doing that monotonous job in number of hours at office only. I have learned something new. Maybe sometimes to get refreshed for them, send them to them such topics which are not related to our office workings. Because in our office working, say for example, one particular chartered accountancy office is working in 5 areas and they are not working in another 2 areas. That another 2 areas not usual working of their office. And institute or branch has declared one seminar on that topic. Ask them to attend that topic, because you can say them, obviously this topic is not with us, but for your knowledge, for betterment of your future, for the professional prospect in coming future, you may require this. Please go and attend. They will feel more good because they understand that my management or my seniors or my principal has taken care in such a way that even if something is not there in my office, still I understood some basics of those workings. This is going to help. It helped to us also. It will help to others. Many must have some other good experience. Then trainings continuously required. Many organizations are doing it. Many organizations are not able to do it because of lack of time. Some organizations are not able to do because of lack of planning. I have faced this in last some years, but previously 1, 2 years, we thought what we can do. One of our senior staff took a lead and she prepared a chart of the training sessions, maybe soft skill, maybe technical, non-technical, or a office related prospect. And we are declaring that chart in the office in the first week of January itself, because whatever my practice area, generally our office team is having less pressure with respect to due dates and number of working hours in Jan, Feb, March. So we are declaring on training chart in Jan, Feb, March, where the trainings are going to happen, which kind of speaker is there. Earlier we have declared some speaker at our own. Later on, that suggestion came from the office team. So let the office team ask that if somebody is going to take this session, they will study. Some are very good presenters, some are very good researcher. You are going to get very good new insight from them, and this is going to help. Because declaring this chart on 1st January itself or January 1st week itself is going to give them an insight clearly on this, that Jan to March, this 3 months, my office is going to have, say, for example, 10 number of sessions. Out of these 10 sessions, 2 sessions are to be delivered by me. So I have to prepare. They will study at their back end. They will give you good result. At the same time, they will find something important by that study, which is very useful in our office environment. So this is going to help us. So continuous professional development opportunities along with trainings are required so that you can retain your employees or your staff or your next generation for more number of years. As I say, we can't visualize it for 5, 7, 10 years nowadays, but then at least for more number of years. Now, if you will ask me in detail, or you will say, sir, can you give certain activities which can help? So when I was preparing for this presentation, I was going through one of contents which were available on the web. At the same time, my office own policies which have been drafted. Going through that, I find out certain activities or which are helpful for the creating a stress-free environment, at the same time inclusivity, at the same time getting a good result and development of overall being well-being for the office team, personal front as well as professional front. So these team building games are there. You can have a HR person on your board if your premises are such good, if your team is such big. You can have a virtual HR consultant, at least who can visit your office and consult you on certain matters. Their team can contain some kind of activities which require team building games, then office reviews and quiz contest. Generally, you can declare in office that in coming Friday for half an hour, we are going to have a quiz contest. Say particularly one particular area of office, we can deliver this particular quiz contest, and winner will be awarded with respect to some of the gift or some like that. That will motivate them to study. Then team lunches and potlucks. So this is also important that you take them sometimes on snacks with your elder team, or sometimes with you. Take them on lunches, have their broader views, have a suggestion mechanism. Suggestion boxes are also helpful in office. If you are having suggestion boxes, they will put that things by written way or by conveying to you. Then icebreaker questions and activities. Sometimes you will feel that you entered in office, and because the due date is nearby, say maybe for statutory audit or a tax audit, and your team is under pressure. You by seeing their faces, you feel that entire team is under pressure. Take them for ice breaking activities for 10-15 days. Maybe saying one particular funny joke or some funny incident happened with some your friends and others. Ask them to share their view and give them a break for certain span. It will recharge them, and they will give you a good result. Similarly, some offices are doing this nowadays. This box cricket mechanism is or particularly been settled at many places. I am sure many of our viewers are already going to the box cricket. If you are not going, please take your team to box cricket tournaments or something like a office sport tournament, where you can understand that their values, their connectivity, because some people are not good in working, but they are very good in sports. If you understand their quality, say for example, you will understand by taking one person to the sports activity and making him a captain for that particular match. And by seeing his all visualization, you understand that he is very good in managing people. You can use his all abilities in office environment by making him a leader in one particular team or assignment, where his subordinates can give a good result on those workings, but he can manage that team very clearly, because these activities are going to give you the result which you are not able to understand sitting in premises. Similarly, if you are having such a good friends, those who are practicing, you can arrange a inter-office tournaments between those people. You can arrange the interactive sessions between those teammates, that their office people, our office people can collaborate to each others. Certain offices or certain chartered accountants are taking their team on picnic along with the collaboration of another chartered accountant's office, so that ideas can be exchanged. Obviously, there are certain limitations that this exchange may lead to comparison or all, but that negativity is always there. We have to ignore it. Then games night, talent shows and hobby sharing, very important. If one of your particular member is very good in one particular activity, say for example, one of my staff is very good in art and crafts or sketching, ask him to sketch one particular pick for entire office and give him one particular pick. When he will design some particular picture or a sketch, he is going to give more efforts because he will think that my office team is with me. And when he will produce before that, others will happy. So this will give him or more good motivation to get involved in office. Then team outings, obviously in above parts it is already covered. Office theme days, as we have as I have elaborated in my previous slides, office theme days are possible. Maybe a professional day or a traditional day or some other day where you can do all this thing. Random acts of kindness day. This one particular fact, when I was going through one presentation, I understood there is one particular office which is taking this activity that if one particular fellow is acting as a kind personality to some other, and if that has been noticed, his kind ways are celebrated in office. A beautiful way of doing all this. This is going to give more motivation to that person as well as others to behave in kind. Because as we have seen in our uh, presentation slide with respect to Ratan Tata, considering values, empathy as is going to give a great result, as Ratan Tata said, and we have seen in Tata Group. I don't have to speak a lot on it. Yesterday, all of you must have gone through many contents on it. Then wellness activities, yoga, meditation. This is going to help, particularly meditation or 5-10 minutes of break where you can ask to the people to get stable. It will going to give result. Then photo challenges and competitions. You can ask them to have a certain photos of office working environment, which is giving a fun, which is giving a good image of office, which can be shared on social media content, which will be helpful for your further activities. This is there. Then Diwali party with family. Many of us are not known to the family members of our staff, articles, or colleagues. We can arrange a Diwali party with family, subject to all other arrangements and feasibilities. And then that can be a connecting mechanism with their family members. Their family can understand where my particular daughter or son is going, why it is going, how it is going, how does his team is working. These all going to give a good views and at the same time inclusivity, and all other aspects can be fulfilled. Cultural sensitivity, religious celebration, as I said, festival leaves can be there. Then cultural sensitivity, religious celebrations. I have seen certain offices, those who are playing a secret Santa game on to Christmas, sharing certain pics, it looking very beautifully. They are presenting their activity, and that is giving a fun, at the same time giving a celebration, at the same time giving a message to the entire fraternity that yes, this office is having a work life balance environment where people are also celebrating according to their own choices with respect to the tedious or monotonous working hours. Then celebrate milestones and achievement. If somebody has achieved something, maybe in office environment, maybe in curriculum, maybe in some other achievement he has done, maybe he has won one chess tournament, award him in office, celebrate his success, celebrate his milestones, give him a you can say appreciation later, which is going to help, and this is going to give a culture which where people will think that yes, emotional balance is there in our office, emotional quotient is working in our office, and obviously he is also going to work because it's a universe. When X is doing something, Y will definitely do like this. This is going to give a good result. Then feedback and coaching, rewards and recognitions. See, obviously, this all retention strategies and gaining strategies are there. Now, obviously, there is a mechanism which says in communication generally, if something is communicated, feedback is required. At the same time, if you are doing something for them or they are doing something for you, it has to be rewarded in such a way that they will feel something good for us. At the same time, they will feel something good for their self, or their family can feel that, or their people, their colleagues or friends can feel that no, this person is doing something and his office or his working environment is taking a consideration of this, appreciation of this is happening. What you can do, employee appreciation day can be there, where you can declare one day of, say for example, in 3 or 6 months, where employee appreciation is possible. Verbal praise, thank you note. Maybe your timings will not allowing you, your focuses are not allowing you, certain scenarios not allowing you, but whenever possible, do it. In our office, we have a mechanism of giving a verbal praise of thank you note. So we are asking one person to write a small sheet where it is given as a thank you note from Mr. X to Mr. Y, and why Mr. Y is giving thank you note to him. So recently, one of our partner got one thank you note from very recent article. She has given a thank you note because he has guided him in such a way in the audit processes or all other GST workings and some other mechanism. That particular young article girl felt so motivated that somebody is taking care to guide her. And that verbal praise by her has motivated to my partner in such a way that he will guide to number of people in coming days. Then performance incentives, obviously monetary as well as non-monetary. Whenever I was discussing with number of people, those who are doing very good in human resources, this is particularly Gen Z are not centric on the monetary mechanism. So you have to incentivize them by way of fascinating things. Say, for example, your Gen Z is very good and working in GST compliance in your office. Every GST people are getting struggle on the due dates because every month you have to follow 11th, you have to follow 20th, and getting a monotonous task continuously for every month. Maybe we are finding another way. He's finding his own good way to get settled. But same thing is happening again. What can be a best incentive? Ask that person. Even I am thinking for it. I have not implemented it. I will honestly accept it. I am thinking that ask that person to get a leave in those 10 days for any particular month. Say, for example, January or February. Ask him to get a compulsory paid leave from 8th of the January to 20th of January, and all other office team can accommodate those requirements of compliances so that he will feel that out of the world for that particular 10-12 days, and he will get refreshed for next 6 months to do those compliance once again. So this can be a performance incentive, maybe in incentivized monetary way or maybe some other ways. Additional paid off time, overtime culture usually settled in India. Many offices are following it. If you are not following it, find out a suitable way which can be there. Birthday leaves and celebrations. We in our office, we have a policy. One of our fellow colleague in Nasik, Mr. Anand Savar, he was with me in one of the seminar. He said me that their office having a one culture that whenever the person of office has a birthday, he can come to office. We will celebrate his birthday, and afterwards he can go to home. There is a paid leave for him, so he can celebrate his birthday. And even if he is not able to come to office, he can take a leave or he will enjoy his birthday with the family, friends, wherever it may be. Immediately in the next month, I have implemented this in my office, and my office team is very happy with this. Similarly, when married people are there, you can ask one more paid leave to them for anniversary celebrations because this will help the inclusivity culture for their family members. Say, for example, Mr. X is working with you. He is working every day or every season late number of hours. And on his anniversary, you are giving a paid leave to go and enjoy with his wife. Obviously, his wife will feel that, yes, your organization taking care of all our other things. So when organization is in need, you may have to sit at late number of hours. This is indirectly motivating him and his family to give a more extra to our office. So it is a win-win resolution. We have to take care of it. Similarly, double the payments if made sacrifice. What is this? Double the payments. As I said, maybe monetary or non-monetary, whatever rewards you want to define, you define with your own office culture. What is the double payment? Say, for example, one particular staff, his birthday is always there on 28th September. 28, 28, I'm saying. And 30th September is a due date. And that fellow is very important fellow for your workings. And he is sacrificing his birthday every year because his date is 28th September. So at some point of time, he may ask you or his mind will ask him, ये ड्यू डेट तो हमेशा चलता रहेगा, मेरा बर्थडे कब आएगा? So if he is sacrificing that day, celebrate not only for one day, even for 2 days. Because in your heavy rush hours, he helped. Nitesh ji, hello. Nitesh
Yes,
ji,
sir.
going good?
Yes, yes.
Because my screen was showing something internet not stable or something. That's why I'm
No,
asking.
no, no. It's okay, sir. It's
So
called.
give him the double rewards, which will help, and that will motivate him. That will motivate to others that if we make a sacrifice with respect to our own fulfillment, office is considering it in a different way. And then that is going to help you as well as that person to achieve your expectations for that particular number of hours or for that particular situation, which is very important. Building loyalty. Uh, Obviously, if we follow all these things and trust and transparency is there, then personal values and loyalty will definitely be there. At the same time, we have to take care that we are not doing something which is X to X and Y to Y and not giving a transparency between X and Y. Then there will be a problem. We have to understand. So there may be a situation where you will fall under the trap that whether to take a side of X or whether to take a side of Y. Then you have to understand the scenario, and then you can move with the own strategies where the resolution will be win-win with all X, Y, Z. So we have to consider that. Then company values and employee expectations. Many times there is no synergy between these two, because the company values are different and employees expectations are different. Say for example, company value says कुछ भी हो जाए मेरे क्लाइंट का कुछ नुकसान नहीं होना चाहिए, एंड एम्प्लॉय सेज सर आपका क्लाइंट हर वक्त ड्यू डेट के दिन ही डेटा ला के देगा, तो मैं यहाँ रोज रात को बैठूंगा क्या? तो देन देयर इज अ डिफरेंस, बिकॉज यू सेज योर वैल्यू सेज दैट माय क्लाइंट shall not get suffered. Then your employee says, sir, every time he is giving late and I have to work number of hours at late hours, I am not going to carry this. And then there is a problem. So we have to understand, we have to educate our client in such a way that every time if you are going to do like this, my staff will not cooperate to me. And even I am not able to cooperate to you. So please understand the scenario and please respect and appreciate the within due date time culture or working culture in such a way which is not going to disturb. So if somebody is taken for granted, we have to educate him. At the same time, there may be a scenario that one particular taxpayer is giving you all information on time every time. And in at one particular month where there is a festival, say for example, tomorrow is the 12th October, Dashera festival is there, and one particular office is having holiday. Say for my example, my office is having holiday, and my one particular client is doing excellently well in all aspect. But due to some 3 4 days, last 3 4 days having some home issues and not able to give the data, and tomorrow we have to work something which is very urgent for him, I may have to ask that person, I have to ask that, I have to convince my staff article in such a way that this fellow is always helping us. He is very good in giving data and all information. He is a fellow person who is understanding our values. Now he is in need. We may have to sacrifice the Dashera celebration, say more, maybe for half hour, half a day. Then please come tomorrow and close it. If you will understand these values of the client, understand as well as your staff articles or your resources, then collaboration is more easy. But then at the same time, if one particular client is giving data always late or giving information always late, and you are asking your staff, no, 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 you have to do it. Definitely, he is going to leave you without saying something. Please understand and take like this. Create a forums for open discussion, celebrate achievement, career development opportunities, include employee decision making. These notes we have already seen in my previous deliberations. Then effective relationship management with new generation of clients and authorities. Important. So whatever factors we have considered in our previous deliberations, all those factors are also working with respect to getting connected with new generation clients. So many of my fellows or colleagues or friends who are in practice, maybe from 15 years like me, maybe 25, 30 years from the beginning. Maybe some of the firms are having first, second, third generation, those who are working more than 40, 50 years. Now, there are some challenges which these people are facing. Say, for example, one of your client was your first client or in a list of first 10, 15 clients. And he is with you since beginning of your practice. And now his second generation is coming in practice. And you are following such a practices which are not accepted to this new generation. Then there will be a gap, then there will be an issue. You must have seen many cases where new generation coming in business and that work is not with us, and that is shifted to some other chartered accountant, maybe Gen Z, according to they whatever is a new generation chartered accountant which is coping up with all these criteria. So we have to consider these things, that what expectations we are discussing for our new generation staff and article. We have to also think about expectations of new generation of clients. So if you will ask one particular client who is a new generation person, sir, please come to office and then we'll give you a document, and not able to send it on electronic media, he will not accept. He'll say, sir, why you are asking me to come in office? Nowadays, nobody is doing it. everybody is going through the electronic media, but there are certain factors where we are asking some traditional ways, and then there are new generational ways are there. Then if you are not able to cope up, ask your new generation person of office, maybe your young partner, maybe your young staff, young article, that this particular client is having such expectations, I'm not able to cope up with it. Inclusivity will give you the result, because that new generation person from our office and new generation of client will have a better understanding, and then win-win resolution is possible, because our staff will guide us, sir, how to move on this way, and this is going to give the result. Similarly, whether it is WhatsApp status, LinkedIn or Instagram post, these things are there, and then that is helping. Nowadays people are doing it. Say for example, if your office is having a all of a sudden holiday which was not scheduled, like in our office on 30th September, income tax audit due date completed. On 1st of the October, we have declared the holidays. Remember to put a WhatsApp status of your office common mobile number, your office personal number. Usually people are calling to that number, or your number where people are connecting to you, maybe clients or their management team. Put a WhatsApp status today, because of this reason office is off. Maybe 90%, or I can say 90% is much exaggerated. Maybe 50% of people will get the understanding and information. So these are the ways which will help you to get connected and will give you the good result without having a lot of disputes. Then younger authorities, this is also important factor to consider. If you go to any authorities or any departmental activities where your connection is with respect to government authorities, particularly new generation authorities, those who are new or those who are newly recruited by way of certain exams, their expectations are as same as our generation Z expectations of office. They want a techno savvy things. They will say, sir, give this data in Excel format. And if you say, sir, we have given a particular file, why you need in Excel, they will not cope up. Then there will be a dispute, resolution will not come to the issue, solution will not get closed, and things will move ahead in a such a way which is going to damage the things for the client. So make sure that you are following such mechanism which is aligned to their expectations, because particularly authorities, when we are opposing in general parlance, they are not digesting, because they are authorities and we have to respect that they are authorities. At the same time, their expectations to be fulfilled. Sometimes you may feel challenges like this. Nowadays many things are electronic mechanism are there, and many things are to be given on online portal, and you are giving such submission which is you are not able to upload because of that, say for example MB limit or KB limit. You convey to that particular person, if you are in position to connect him, that sir, this particular document cannot be uploaded, can I send you on email, can I give you on pen drive, so that it will be at your desk and you will be able to see. Before asking by him, if you will convey him, he will feel that no, 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 we are very transparent and we are ready to give, because that particular size, storage size is not allowing, you are not submitting. He will think that we are hiding, we are not giving the details, we don't want to give in his requirement, and like this we have to collaborate. So these new authorities are expecting in digital platform, you have to follow. This new authority is expecting a respect in communications. Obviously, that factor is making a part. Inclusivity. So consider them, even if they are junior, very new to you, you are very, you can say elder in practice, but then please understand you have to cope up. Otherwise, because in office you may think like this source is required for me, so I will cope up with Gen Z. But in authorities, at authorities, I will say, यहाँ तो मुझे सिर्फ एक बार ही जाना था ना, क्यों इसका सुनूं? If this thought is there, then that discussion will roam around in all other authorities, and then some people will carry a perception for you which is going to give trouble. So many people are not doing in such a fashion or not by the intentions, but at the same time sometimes it happens because of you can say not considering the factor that this is going to get discussed at number of places. So we have to consider this. So impact on CA offices for all this, the digital transportation transformation, flexible work arrangements, AI integration is reshaping the CA office. I don't have to tell a lot on it because there are separate courses on it. Please attend if you have not attended. If you have attended, try to use it and maximize the resources for your office. At the same time, take care you will not blindly believe on those contents which are coming with the AI or some other platforms. You have to validate with your experience or seniors experience or seniors, you can say guidance. So with this, you can achieve the good results. So there are certain factors like cloud computing are there, collaboration tools, Asana, Trello mechanism is there where you can ask task management is there. Certain people have their own office task management softwares. A lot of good players are there in market. Even Institute is providing a free software for office task management. If you have not gone through it, please go through it. It will help you to the extent of your all office environment. Virtual desktop infrastructure, Chat GPT, Copilot. Even I will ask you if some of you are having this information which is required to be collaborated with the Chat GPT or AI tool, please have a paid version. It is going to give us such a wonderful results so that it will save a lot of your time. Obviously, the ready-made results are not going to help, but it will save your time. Please note my words. Then Power BI, AI courses by ICI, audit in digital environment, because nowadays एक एरा ये भी फिजिकल फाइल्स ऑफिस में आते थे। एक एरा ये भी देखा गया कि ऑफिस में आके क्लाइंट उस डॉक्यूमेंट्स को हमारे साथ डिस्कस करता था। नाउअडेज एवरीथिंग इज कमिंग। फिर एक एरा देखा गया कि ये सब ईमेल पे आता था। अब एक एरा देखा जा रहा है आधा ईमेल पे आ रहा है आधा व्हाट्सएप पे आ रहा है। सो थिंग्स आर चेंजिंग। Whether it is right or wrong, what can be the best mechanism for your office? According to your scenario and choices, you please design the ways. But then, by this changing environment, you have to adopt. Because if one particular firm is there, those who are sending some documents to you on digital platform, and it is easy for them to come from 25 kilometer to your office rather than sending it by electronic media, you have to develop a culture. Otherwise, some point of time, their next generation will definitely move away. We have to take care. Then effective conflict resolution. Uh, Obviously, all this working environment will have a conflicts, and conflicts are there or bound to be there. Important part is there what kind of policies we are setting and what these generations are expecting to get a resolution of this conflict. So this particular processes are going to help. Say you have a team discussions, or you can say a team meeting on every Monday or Tuesday. Board meeting concept is there in corporate. Similarly, a partners meeting concept where you can discuss the issues and you will have the discussion so that it will not be carried forward for more number of days or more number of months. So it will be resolved as early as possible. So discussions are there. Similarly, you can have a dispute resolution committee in our office. I have formed dispute resolution committee, which may help you. Obviously, things will take place in long span, which is going to give a good result in long span. But you can do. See, in our office dispute resolution committee, when I formed it, I took care of this. One person from senior management in dispute resolution committee, one person from senior articles, one person senior from new joiners, and one person from the management itself. So this dispute resolution committee is giving a culture where all are considered, they are comfortable to those people, and then that dispute is coming to discussion. The dispute resolution committee is able to solve it. If they are not able to solve it, then coming to the top management or partners where they can give the resolution. So lot many things are settled after this. Many things are not coming to. Later on, even team have conveyed to me, sir, please don't put yourself in small things. We will resolve at our end. So these are going to help, and that is the objective basically. Similarly, assigning buddy for new joiners. So this HR management concept says if new joiners are there, you please think what is that new joiners expectation, and according to that, assign a person from your office who is existing in office. Say maybe you can term it as more than 6 months or 1 year's person and assign him as a buddy. So if that new joiner is have any issue, may it be with working culture, may it be with the clients, may it be communications, may it be the expectations for different areas of working, he can connect to that buddy and that buddy can resolve, and then buddy can give the better solutions, or else buddy can at least put up those things to the management. Sir, these things are not coming to you, but you have to consider because otherwise front side person is not satisfied. So this buddy culture is going to help. If you are following, very good. Not following, please start it. Going to give a good result. This is my experience. Achieving work-life balances. Obviously, this is the end expectations. Both generations are expecting this, and work-life balances are nowadays are at priority. Many of our CA fellow have struggled on this. Recently, we have seen certain cases where because of work pressure and all other things, somebody lost the life. So you have to understand that what is the gap between this, what is the thin line. where you have to achieve your targets without without compromising your health or your wellness or your family's expectations. At the same time, growth is to be there. So this balance, bridging of gap is an important concern we have to consider. Then wellness initiatives are required. So example, please consider sick leaves, work from home culture. If you are not able to come to office because of some reason, but you are able to complete the task, allow that staff to work from home, give them a medical and policies, physical health, mental health programs, importance of self care to be guided to them. Very important. One of the best experience I can share in COVID, I have taken a COVID policies for all of my staff. And one fine day, my office boy got COVID affected, and it was at such a high level. His score, HRCT score was such a high, he has to get admitted. Financial feasibility at the same time availability in hospitals, where both were concerned across the India. Fortunately, he got the place in hospital, but financial feasibility was concerned. Believe me, my entire office policy was around 9-10,000 for number of team members for that particular span of 6 month COVID policy. And he has admitted where his claim value was 1,25,000. So it was a coverage of around 2,50,000 per member for those office team members. Only this single fellow got affected and he has to admit it where he can use his our office COVID policy, and he got admitted in good hospital. He got a good treatment. He came out of it very clearly, and then lot of times his family and he said me, sir, because of you, I could get hospital. Otherwise, mera kya hota? So these are the things going to help you. Similarly, this is important factor we have to consider. Accidental insurance for office boy, driver, etc. So the people who are from your organizations are more, you can say, exposed to the traffic things or exposed to the public environment. से आपका ऑफिस बॉय यूजुअली करता क्या है? आपके लिए बैंक्स में जाना, आपके लिए क्लाइंट्स प्लेस पे जाना, आपके कोई पर्सनलाइज टास्क होगा वो करता है. Like this, he is doing many other things where he is exposed to the traffic scenarios. He has to carry his vehicle, or your driver is carrying the cars, carrying to you and all. These people are more exposed because the risk is more for them for the life compared to others. So please take them accidental policy for them, accidental medical, accidental insurance or anything like this, where you pay that amount. So because when he will go for you, his mind will be secured on that aspect. Yes, even if something happens to you, my office has taken care of my family. Obviously, we will pray and everybody will pray that this shall not happen in any case. But thinking a broad prospect, if something is going to happen and you are giving such kind of accidental policy to that staff, he will feel more secured. His family will say, no problem, this is your job, you have to do. And if you are not giving an accidental policy, sometimes his family member may say, कहाँ रोज बाइक पे घूमते रहता है ऑफिस के लिए, कल कुछ हो गया तो कौन जिम्मेदारी लेगा? So these are the things we have to consider, which is going to give a good help. Setting boundaries. All of us has to set boundaries for the working culture. May it be baby boomers, maybe Gen X, maybe Gen Y, maybe Gen Z, maybe Gen Alpha in coming future. Boundaries are required. We have to set boundaries. Maybe number of hours, maybe number of working months, maybe areas, or whatever it may be. We are thinking to achieve a good growth. At the same time, we have to think that it shall not be at the cost of our well-being. So this balance is required. Wherever this balance is getting affected, people are struggling to get revive on it. So please consider, and these two things where boundaries are there, these boundaries will help to give a more good environment, and then definitely good environment is going to help you to get a good new generation. So this will help. So for example, what can be the boundaries, or what is going to give this boundaries in work-life balance? Similarly, say for example, in our office, we have started the culture of first and fourth Saturday off. And this has been declared, those first and fourth Saturday dates in the first day of April, when holiday chart was declared, these dates were declared. Obviously, while designing, there were challenges that how the fourth Saturday of September will be off, because you will have a work pressure where you can work on Sunday also. While considering, we have understood, we have not considered fourth Saturday of September. We have not considered fourth Saturday of October because Diwali is there and the all working due dates will be there. But obviously, fourth Saturday of August was possible, fourth Saturday of November is possible. Please arrange such calendar. It will help them. Then boundaries are set. home people, and those people will think, no, I can give certain time to my family, and definitely, other than that Saturday, wherever required, he will sit for extra number of hours or extra working days. He will do and complete his job. Definitely going to give a good result. Even clients are ready to accept it if you are declaring in previous. If you will say all of a sudden tomorrow is holiday, obviously communication issues are arising and the challenges are there. Similarly, you can ask the staff to come at early morning rather than asking for late nights. So if somebody is sitting in office till 9:30, 10, ask him if it is comfortable and giving a problem to him. If it is not comfortable and giving problem to him, you problem, you go 7:30. Please come tomorrow. Your regular time is 10:30. Please come tomorrow by 8:30 or 9. So that that extra 1.5 hour, what you want for your better results can be worked out, especially in case of lady staffs. This is going to work out. Obviously, they are also required to follow these timings. So they will go early today, but not going to come by tomorrow early morning. Then there will be an issue to complete the task. So we have to balance between them. Then important, you will ask me, sir, you are saying all this to be done to match up with Gen Z. We are doing X, we are doing Y, Z, everything from the generation X, Y, Z. Then what Gen Z shall do to get match up with the expectations of elders? Important, what we can do, we have to develop a strong interpersonal skills, and we have to guide them how our experiences have helped us to achieve our goals. And then there can be a integration between their digital work environment and interpersonal skill. We have to guide them in this way. Second, adopt to organizational culture. We have to take them into consideration. We have to we have to develop a continuous dialogue where we will express them what is our generation, how our generation and culture is there in our organization, and this culture, this our generation and our culture is in such a way it is going through in number of years, which we can't change in a particular span or in a short span. So you have to adopt our culture. We will also adopt. We will go. We are going to adopt also adopt to your ways and methodologies, maybe in electronic or digital environment. So this collaboration, having a good dialogue, and you can say an agreement between both of them will help to give the good result. Obviously, we will express them in a very proper way. They will accept it, and they are accepting it. This is my experience. Show patience and commitment. Yeah, obviously, Gen Zs are struggling on this patience and commitment. Sometimes you will find a commitment, then you will be finding a struggle with the consistency. Sometimes you will find a consistency, you will find a struggle with the commitment. Sometimes you will find a consistency, commitment, but you will find the result which is not expected according to your expectations. So these are the things where we have to balance. So we have to express them that why patience and commitment are related with your results. I'm not talking about exam result or office result. I'm talking about the win-win resolution for any particular situation or problem arising, or maybe in work environment. So patience and commitment are lacking in Gen Z. Typically, when you will talk to your Gen Z, have a good dialogue without criticizing them. तेरे में तो पेशेंस ही नहीं है, तुझे कुछ पता ही नहीं है, तुम्हारा 2020 जनरेशन लास्ट ओवर रिंकू सिंह का देख के ही खुश हो जाते हो। हमारे जमाने में हमने 50 ओवर की मैच देखी थी। हमारे दादाजी के जमाने में हमने 5 दिन का टेस्ट भी देखा था। ही विल से भाई आपके पास उतना समय था, मेरे पास इतना नहीं है। शायद वो अगर रिस्पेक्ट कर रहा होगा तो मुंह पे नहीं बोलेगा, बट देन ही मे थिंक लाइक दिस, ही मे टॉक लाइक दिस. So don't criticize him on that aspect. Ask him how to cope up with this and why your generation is not having a patient and commitment. You don't have to express him. Ask him in such a way that your patience and commitment align with our expectations, our working culture is going to give a good result. And this experience of ours and the patience and energy of yours, if collaborated in such a way, is going to give a good result to the world. And tomorrow's generation will definitely respect to both of us. We have to create such environment which will help us. Then improve resilience and adaptability. We have seen in the first slide of comparative ANXYZ, they are lacking in resilience and adaptability because their experiences are digitally, environmental experiences are there. Or at the contrary, we have personal experiences. So resilience and adaptability, here we have to ask them to read certain characters by the books or maybe by digital books, maybe by audio books. Don't ask them कि हमारे जमाने में हम 250 का बुक पढ़ लेते थे, आप लोग तो 10 पन्ने का नोटिफिकेशन दिया तो भी पढ़ते नहीं हो. नो प्रॉब्लम, आज दिन ये पढ़ना है. तू सोच, तुझे डिजिटली पढ़ना है, कंप्यूटर पीडीएफ पे पढ़ना है, या इसको कन्वर्ट करके ऑडियो बुक में पढ़ना है, नो प्रॉब्लम. यू अंडरस्टैंड दिस इन सच अ वे. Right now, many more platforms are there where digital books are also possible, are also there, and people are listening. At the same time, you have to take care. The content shall not be so high that people will ignore it. Typically, this new generation, because this new generation is not prone to such long information and content. They are asking it in a short and a brief way. Ask them, this is the content, generate according to your need, and please understand this is required. So this will give them a theoretical experience of the previous generation, which will help them for the developing resilience and adaptability attitude, and that is going to give a good result to us. So very subjective and technical concept, it cannot be expressed in such a way in the presentation that these are the techniques for it. Everybody has to go according to that situation and convince the people accordingly. Blend digital expertise with practical experience. Obviously, collaboration of both of us are required. I already said. Demonstrate accountability and ownership. Very important. Give them ownership. Give them an accountability prospect that this is going to happen. And don't we cannot put in such a way. This is going to happen. This you have to do. If something goes wrong, I will hold you responsible. We cannot speak like this. You have to say them. You are an authority for it. You decide what to do. Your own methodology will work. I want this kind of result. You may please change your strategies, but don't deprive of the values. Please be ethical on this. I want this kind of results. And then according to your choice, you can move ahead. And if you will speak like this, believe me, the result is such a beautiful that is going to help you for your achievement. And then what will happen? They will think that my independence is there, my flexibility is there, my techno-savvy attitude has been respected. So whatever are their needs, that has been already taken care of. Obviously, their result is going to help us. But obviously, as I said, I will repeat once again, whatever they are presenting before you, by their use of digital platforms or the artificial intelligence mechanism, we have to validate. Just be don't blind on their information. Similarly, ask them just be don't blind on their information so that they can also validate from number of sources. And we, with our experience, we have to do this. Maintain professionalism. This is the general requirement, not only for Gen Z, but then professionalism is lacking in the Gen Z. These are the general comments people are passing because their expectations are different. Again, as they are comparing all their scenarios with the different industries. So in technology industry, if you will say, people are using the clothing with their own comfort. And in CA offices, generally we say that you have to come in formal. Believe me, one of the article came to my office interview before some days. She said me that she gone to X place for interview. There, everything was perfect according to her choice. But one particular point in that office that setting a formal dress up is important for Monday to Friday. Just because of that reason, she refused to go at that firm. I will not say that firm shall change the policy of formal dressing. I will not say that she has to understand that that is the requirement of our culture. I will ask and I will open the pendulum box for all of us. We have to introspect that what kind of differentiation we can bring up so that these expectations can get matched up. Obviously, non-professional workings or routine traditional clothing is not there. At the same time, a formal dress up is not there. What impression is going to have at client place? These are factors which have to consider, but at the same time, win-win resolution is required. Otherwise, this is creating one of the important point to create a conflict in office, and that creating conflict is at such a stage that nobody is able to solve it. So please understand and take care of it. Conclusion and recommendations. So recap of takeaways. Definitely, general cell differences is there. Importance, emphasize the importance of flexibility, technology-driven integration, and an inclusive culture, as we have discussed in our all previous slides. Then these strategies definitely will help you to get a multi-generational workforce in CA office. Implementation strategies, invest in technology and foster a culture. Very important. One particular office I have seen, they have their annual budget on the first day of year itself, where they are allocating certain funds to develop the technology in office. May it be technology from the electricity perspective, technology from the infrastructure perspective, technology from the prospect of computers, hardwares, and softwares. So they have their own budget. Similarly, we can also have Wherever I am speaking this suggestive mechanism, please note, this is not like that everything is implemented at my office, but I have started studying on it. And that is where I came up with this thought that this can be a topic for the discussion at large for practice development. By and large, is going to help for all of us. I hope I will deliver to the expectations of all of us. Outline the key steps for strategy, bridge the generational gaps, monitoring progresses, AI-driven tools, and all other employee performance chart, client satisfaction, generational integration strategies. These are all the factors where you can have a performance evaluation, which will help this. Then continuous feedback mechanism from the client, staff, as well as your articles, as well as your colleagues, your partners. This continuous feedback mechanism will have a good input sources for the future development. That will be the considerable factor. Final thoughts, bridging generational gaps is essential to build a resilient and future ready C office. Then this is all, you can say, a considerable all factors where a combination of all these strategies, not only all these strategies, there are many other strategies, but these are the considerable factors one can consider. And by studying on all these aspects, you can have that collaborative environment which will give inclusivity, which will give good result, and going to help to all our generations to achieve their result, along with the importance of the work life balance, along with the importance of growth, along with the peace, and along with the happiness. So all these factors are going to help this. With this, I will conclude my deliberations here. Nitish ji, I hope I am within time. There are certain questions which may be
Yes, sir.
possible to come upon. I have considered certain questions, but I will not go to those slides. So Nitish ji, with this, thank you very much for your
Thank,
patience and your time which you have given for this moderation. At the same time, I'm very thankful to Capacity Building Committee of ICI. At the same time, I'm very thankful to those four people I have named in these slides. Four people, three people, and one is forum. From this Wayman forum, I got certain good insights by their Gen Z report, which I came across for my study. This particular topic is helping me to understand the generation. I'm liking these all things to study upon. Maybe this will help me in my CA practice, or maybe this will help me in my general life as well. With this, once again, I will say opinions are like clocks. Each shows a different time. Everyone believes there is a correct. And at this, with thank you very much for all of us for your patience
thank you,
listening. If something is missed upon or misread or misrepresented by preparing presentation, I am still open. You please convey me on my mobile or maybe to CMP committee. I will correct those things if inadvertently it has been happened. Thank you once again. Thank you, Nitish ji. Over to you.
thank you very much. You almost covered everything which is required or which is related to this topic. Means what can happen, what is happening nowadays. But there is one question. Can we start the reverse mentoring in the organization? Like usually older person mentors younger one. Can we start that the younger persons are mentoring the older about the new technologies and the new systems they are following, so that they can with that means they can follow that. Can we do that?
Obviously, I will, whatever is a good suggestion given by you. And I will say that this is the requirement basically. So first we have to create a mindset for those Gen X and Y that you be
Yes,
a
sir.
student to Mr. Gen Z or Miss
Yes,
Gen Z. Because otherwise, if the reluctance is there to accept their views, the results are not going to get. But
yeah,
yes,
conflict
but
maybe.
but
Yes,
yes, I have seen certain big offices, not particularly chartered accountant, certain big offices, corporates, where this generation are giving the excellency to the senior people. Particularly in one of
yes,
automobile showroom I have seen, their new generational staff are helping to convince the client in a different way than the generational X and Y. And these Gen XY people have accepted their strategies, particularly in convincing the others. Say, what is that? Say, I will tell you the example. That new generational sales staff, what done? When that person was buying a car, she was taking a selfie and asking us,
yes,
sir, are you there on Instagram? Are you there on Facebook? If that person says no, so your family member is there, tagging to them on the spot of that automobile showroom itself. So that people
yes.
felt that this is a celebration of my achievement. So buying a car is achievement for everybody. And then later on, I have seen that certain senior staff of that automobile showroom has followed this. So this
Yes,
is
sir.
definitely going to
Exactly.
help even in CA offices. Obviously, that mentoring is going to give good result, but then
Good.
matchup is required. X and Y has to accept that yes, these people are going to
Exactly.
give a good
There,
result.
there may be conflict about the accepting that things from the
Yes,
younger one. Yes. Yes.
yes, yes.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. I see Nitish Verma. Thank you from the behalf of committee for member in practice. Thank you very much.
Thank you.